Hello everybody, the music fan is back, bringing smiles to the faces, knowledge to the people, and most importantly, music to the masses. And as you can see, I have a little bit of a scene change. Yes, I am finally recording my first video in my new apartment. I am super happy to be here. I'm loving the area, and I'm still unpacking a few things, but I finally have some time to do a video here. Apologies again for just being a little bit haphazard with my schedule recently. I'm still unpacking, I'm still getting used to my new position at work, and I've also just been hugely busy with a lot of different things over the last couple of weeks. Also, the newest argument I put out yesterday, it took a long time to edit and get together. This was almost like a 45-minute video and I condensed it to a half hour. So if you watched the last Are You In on Fear Inoculum with my brother, I hugely appreciate it. If you haven't watched it yet and you're a huge Tool fan, check it out. I think we did a pretty good job explaining everything. So with everything going on, I wanted to take a minute just to breathe. So now I am back and I am basically ready for the next 4 or 5 videos. So you should be able to get these on time for the most part, barring any certain unforeseen things that come up. So anyways, I am back with another Are You In? And today we are taking a look at the newest Lindsey Stirling album entitled Artemis. Now, Lindsey Stirling is an American violinist, singer, and songwriter with her previous albums including Lindsey Stirling in 2012, Shatter Me in 2014, Brave Enough in 2016, and Warmer in the Winter in 2017. I honestly don't remember where I got into her work. I know that she was on America's Got Talent on the 5th season and didn't even make it past the quarterfinal round, which is crazy to see how she has bloomed after that particular show. She has gained a cult following on YouTube. She has appeared with a lot of other people, including the Pentatonics, and even making a cameo on Evanescence's latest album 2 years ago on the song High Low. She has definitely made a name for herself, and she has grown a huge fan base in the meantime. I believe I may have heard of her more through my friends in high school and college than I did on America's Got Talent, but I remember my first album listening to hers was Shatter Me. I really enjoyed what was there. I enjoyed this mix of dubstep and electronica with violin. It was like the first person that I really enjoyed in the dubstep community because of just how beautiful a lot of the violin lines were and just how good the arrangements were. I've listened to Shatter Me and I've listened to Brave Enough, enjoying both of them. Warmer in the Winter I didn't check out because I'm not usually a person who looks into holiday music. I did find out that she was putting out a new album this year, and what also drew me to it, not only was she doing an album, but she was also dropping a comic book of the same name, Artemis. Always someone who is interested in multi-artistical works, so I wanted to check it out. Basically, from what I can gather, the idea of this comic book is a dystopian world or set in the future where you got the people living on the surface and you have people underground, and the underground people are trying to make it to the surface so that they can enjoy a world that they can actually believe in rather than a desolate world that they are in. But I also believe that this is probably an allegory for dealing with dark times, troubling times, and finding a way of pushing through and making it to the surface. From there, I checked out the album, and for those who have listened to Lindsey Stirling's work before, you're not really going to get much different ideas. Yes, she still incorporates the violin and dubstep on every single arrangement. It just depends on whether or not you find these arrangements interesting. I'm going to at least break them down for you and let you know which I think are the best and which ones are not so great. Starting from the get-go, a lot of these arrangements in the beginning are really good. The first 4 songs, Underground, Artemis, Till the Light Goes Out, and Between Twilight, are some of the best ones on the album. We start off with Underground, which has this beautiful build. I enjoy how this starts off with a little bit more of a rubato piece, which also throws in a little bit of working the major over the minor, which was really cool at the beginning. And then you get into this fast-paced, more staccato section. The main verse melody, fantastic, especially when she picks it up with the 16th and 32nd notes, and a little bit more of the bendy slidey notes, really cool, one of the better melodies on the album. The chorus kind of breaks it down a little bit, making it a little bit more simplistic and more flowing. I didn't enjoy it at first, I thought it was a little bit too simplistic, but as I've listened to it more and more, I find it as one of the better chorus melodies, making for a very interesting song with the dubstep being there, but not overemphasizing with the dubstep. You got a little bit more cool percussive and more subtle percussive natures, including even like a ticking clock. Going on, we have Artemis, which incorporates more of the more conventional dubstep approaches, a little bit more bass boost ideas, making the arrangement a little bit less complex, though I still enjoy the melody a lot. What I like about it more is with the second verse, she adds a little bit more to the melody, adding some more complexity and building it out. I really enjoy that. The chorus is also very solid, and what I love about that is the background violin parts using the arpeggiation, making a nice contrast to the more flowing main chorus melody. The vocal choruses are nice, but doesn't really add much to the song. Still a phenomenal song from the beginning. Till Light Goes Out and Between Twilight are two of my favorite songs on the album. They are 1 and 2 in my book. The Light Goes Out has a really cool vibe. The percussion is really cool. I really like the chanting choruses, and it adds some nice touches to this song. The melody flows really smoothly into this finger pluck section, which you'll see a little bit more on the rest of the album, but I really enjoy the pluck section, tied in with some atmospheric dubstep parts. The chorus comes in, one of the more solid ones on the album, and then all of a sudden Lindsey Stirling just picks it up, goes into double speed with her melody the second time around. So cool, such a beautiful ride. The chanting on the bridge is also really interesting, adding some slidey staccato notes. Really nice in effect for this particular song. And then going into Between Twilight, which is absolutely gorgeous. This one is very minimal when it comes to the dubstep, coming in a little bit later, and it never really reaches a climax with that. But what stands out more is just her violin work. Absolutely beautiful, absolutely flowing. The chorus has some beautiful chord progressions going in through different modes and different key centers, making for a really standout melody, and honestly, to me, the highlight on the album. A little bit later, we get to 3 songs that are kind of similar in vibe. Each one of these kind of has a little bit more bounce to the song, which is Masquerade, Sleepwalking, and Dark Side. Out of the 3, Dark Side is my favorite. I love the offbeat work in the background from Lindsey Stirling. She adds a little bit more of an offbeat approach with the rhythmic violin, and the plucked ideas before the chorus are really solid. The chorus itself is really bouncy and really interesting, and the melody itself works against the offbeat approaches, making this really cool contrast. Adding a second violin for harmony later in is really solid too. And eventually when we get to the bridge, there's some great layering of parts, making for, out of the 3, the most standout one of those. Sleepwalking also has that nice bounce, and it has such a catchy chorus melody, especially with some great harmonies in there as well. The vocals don't really add much to the song. It's decent, and it has a nice a little electronic overlay on there, but what stands out here is the chorus idea more than anything else. It also does have a nice little Daft Punk vibe on those choruses, making it for something a little bit more retro in sound. Masquerade feels a little bit more old world, I guess, gypsy. I don't know what the right word to say there. It starts off with what sounds like it's playing on an old record player, and it has a solid melody line. I love the vibe of a lot of the song. To me though, the drums feel a little bit weird in contrast with this particular melody. Just the timbre of it doesn't really work in comparison to what is playing around it. Also, the key change kind of comes out of nowhere, feeling a little bit weird at the end, but still I like a lot of what this song does. The last 3 songs to me are where we get a little bit more poppy with the ideas. Upside, Guardian, and Aurora all feel something that's a little bit more mainstream dubstep sound, something that's a little bit more conventional than the other ones. It's not that it's bad, it's just more that you can definitely hear the more poppy approaches on these songs, each to their own effect. The Upside is phenomenal. I love the melody on there. It also has this like mixture of Avicii and Daft Punk. It's very simplistic, but I like how Lindsey takes that simplicity and adds her own chops to there to make for something truly memorable. Guardian is also pretty poppy, though the melody is pretty simplistic. The choruses are just hugely beautiful. Even if the approaches are pretty simplistic and conventional, it just is really effective. However, the last one of these, Aurora, not my favorite when it comes to this album. It's pretty bland when it comes to the chorus melody, and the first melody itself doesn't really stand out to me. I do like the pre-chorus, how it ramps up in energy and in the pace of the violin, but the whole entire arrangement feels really simple and really bland, and even the offbeat drums feel just very tacky. There's also 3 other songs on here, all sung vocals. They're good, but like with any instrumental album to me, I find whenever you get like a sung part in here, it makes it stand out as one of the weaker songs. It's not that the melodies are any bad, and everyone who's on there does a good job. It's just more that it makes the arrangement more simplistic. Like I talked about with Polyphia's album last year, one of the weaker songs on there was the sung one because it made everything else stand out as pretty simple. And this is what happens with the 3 sung songs, which are Forever Glow, Love Goes On, and The Upside. Out of the 3, Love Goes On is the best. Amy Lee does a phenomenal job on this particular song, as she always does. This honestly does feel like an Evanescence song with dubstep approaches, and it makes for a nice mix. And there's even some more complex and fast-paced violin parts on here, making for a really, really solid song. I love the melody and the chord progression approach when it comes to the chorus. It stands out very well. It's just there are some parts that are pretty simplistic in terms of everything else. The Upside, which is the vocal version of it, Ellie King, who did the song X's and O's, does a decent job, but again, because we've already heard The Upside before as an instrumental, this doesn't stand out. And honestly, it makes me want to listen to the instrumental again. Not that she does a bad job, it's just more that it dumbs down the arrangement. And then Forever Glow features Lindsey Stirling on vocals. To me, it's the weakest of all the melodies. She does a decent job singing, it's pretty bland. And other than the post-chorus ideas with the fast-paced violin, a lot of this arrangement is very simple and not too interesting. Lyrically, a lot of these songs do deal with surviving and striving to make it to your goal, whether it's in the fictional world with trying to see what's past the underground, or if it's fighting with your demons every single day. Overall, a lot of this album is pretty solid. The beginning part is more solid than the end. Once you're getting to Guardian, your Aurora, and The Upside, the last 3, you're getting some of the weaker songs in the album a little bit more simplistic, and I understand if it's the idea of finally getting to where you need to be and being more triumphant. I can understand that it's something a little bit happier, and with that, a little bit more simplistic. However, the first half is definitely much better than the second half. Though, overall, there isn't really a song on here that I truly hate, and even though Aurora is a little bit bland, it's a decent closer. I would say listen to the full album. You're not really getting much different than what you've already had before with Lindsey Stirling, but it's still really solid. I still love a lot of it, and there's some really, really cool ideas, especially at the beginning, that makes you want to hear the rest of the album. That is my time. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know if you like or hate this album and your reasons why. Let me know other albums from 2019 that you'd like me to review. Share this with your friends. And most importantly, subscribe to my channel. That way I know that you enjoy what I'm doing and want to see this channel become bigger and better for the future. So tomorrow, I'm going to be back with another Are You In? And until then, this is the Music Fan, and I'm signing off.